Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial. So if you are looking to improve the performance of your Spring Boot applications, then you are in a right place. So today here in this tutorial, I am going to explain that how we can improve the performance of Spring Boot application. So the thing is that how we can achieve that, like how we are going to improve the performance of our system. So for that, basically in applications, what we are doing, we are sometimes fetching data from the database, right? So that database calls basically taking time. It's a network call. So to reduce that, so we are going to introduce Redis Cache into our application so that we can significantly boost its speed and efficiency. Redis Cache is an open source in-memory data structure store that can be used as a database, cache, and the message broker. By storing frequently accessed data in Redis Cache, we can reduce the time it takes for your application to retrieve that data. So in a result, we will get the faster response overall, right? Means instead of calling to the database, we are going to call the caching, where we are basically store the data. So it will improve the performance for any applications. So now we will talk about like what is Redis Cache. So as I said, Redis Cache is an open source in-memory data structure to store that like data into the database, okay, or maybe in a caching system. In Redis also behave as a database also, okay. So there basically we are putting those data. So it's basically if we are putting those data in a caching, so it will speeding up the data retrieval. Redis can also help reduce the load on the database server, because here we are not going to call to the database server. Instead of, it will fetch the data from the Redis cache. So in a first call we will put data into the Redis cache, and the second time it will fetch data from the Redis cache instead of calling to the database server. So that will leading to improve the scalability and reliability. So by caching data in Redis, we can minimize the number of requests made to our database. Ultimately, it will improve the performance of our applications. So this is the overall things of this Redis cache. So Redis cache also you can say it's a caching management feature that is offered by Redis. Redis is normally used as a cache to store repeatedly accessed data in memory so that user can like feel better performance of the application. The Redis cache actually basically offers various features, like if we want to keep data and which data to remove first, and some other bright caching model actually, okay. So this is about the Redis cache actually. Next, if we talked about that, what is the advantage of using Redis cache in our applications? So like any other caching technique, Redis cache also minimize the number of network also, as I said earlier. So that means it is the one of the advantage. It will improve the performance of our application as a whole, and also it will reduce the number of network calls by made by the applications, okay. So one request from application to the DB is similar to the one network call, and we can also achieve the better scaling once we apply caching mechanism in the application, as in database can save more calls in this case, okay. Next we will talk about that what are the important annotations to enable Redis cache into our application. So once means whenever we are going to use this Redis cache into our application, then we need to use some annotations, like as I mentioned those points like enable caching, cacheable, cache put, cache evict. So these are the like primary annotations that are going to use in our program while we are enabling that caching system. So enable caching means if we apply this annotation in the main class, like main starter class of our application, in order to tell Spring container that we need a caching feature in our application. Second annotation is cacheable. So cacheable is basically used to like fetch or maybe retrieve the data from the database to the application and store the data in a Redis cache. Suppose we are going to get maybe find all, so over there we need to put this cacheable annotation. So we can apply this particular annotation in a method level. Okay, and cacheables requires a return value of the method that adds or update data in the cache. These cacheable annotations offer us to to use some attributes we can define the key attributes of this like value and the key over there. This cache put basically is used to update the data in the Redis cache. Like suppose we have already put some data for based on certain keys. Now if we want to update this one, so based on this cache put annotation, we can like update the caching which is stored already in database. And next one is the cache evict. This is basically order to remove the or clear the Redis cache while we are removing something from the database. Like suppose we are doing trying to remove some data from database. In this case we also remove data from the cache. So in this case the cache evict basically it's want to refresh the cache. Okay, so next basically what we are going to do, like we are going to how this basically works in a application perspective. So for that I have one diagram is over here that you can see. Like client means over here like it can be front end from Angular, from React, or maybe from Android, iOS. Application can call the our MS services, right? And here you can see the Redis cache we can define over here. So first of all we'll check that particular data is available in the cache or not. If it is not available into the cache, then we are going to fetch the data from the database. If data is available in the cache, then we are not going to call to the database. So it will automatically reduce the DB cost, right? If the data is available, we are able to get the data based on certain keys in a Redis cache, then we can fetch the data from the Redis cache database, and we are returning data to the same client. So it will improve the performance of the system, right? So this is the overall architecture of this Redis cache. So next what we are going to do, we are going to create one applications, Spring Boot applications, and over there we are going to implement the caching. How we are going to how we are going to implement the Redis cache into any Spring Boot applications. In my last tutorial I've already explained how we are going to create the CRUD operation using the Redis cache, and now we are going to create one simple Spring Boot applications where I'm going to talking with the MySQL database, and then how it is working Redis cache and how we can improve the performance. That also I will show you in a demo session. Okay, so without further ado, let's create the project and we can implement this Redis cache into the system. Let's check this one. So for integrating the Redis cache into the Spring Boot applications, so first of all we need to create one Spring Boot application using from the Spring initializer, right? There's a site from there we can create the project. So from there we can choose the name, and then we need just choose the dependencies, and over that then we can generate the project easily. So if we see the pom.xml file, so it's currently we are having the this kind of dependencies: Spring Boot, Starter Web, Data JPA, MySQL. As database I'm going to use the MySQL. So in this application basically I have downloaded and also imported in my Eclipse editor. You guys can use any editor. So now the thing is that, so previously I have already created one CRUD application using MySQL database. In the REST controller you can see we are having this save, find all, find by ID, and the remove operations. So these are basically done using the MySQL. So here you can see the driver class MySQL, then data source URL, username, password, and then the Hibernate related properties. So here also I am using this source equal true, so that whenever we are going to access any applications or access any API, then those SQLs which are basically used to fetch data or save data, those are basically printed in the console. So you can from the console you can see what are the SQLs basically used. So now from the controller basically we have created one service. So this service class basically is basically just talking with the database, and based on the operations, maybe either save or find all or find by ID or delete by ID, those operations is done under this service layer. Okay, so if I start this application, then we can easily do the CRUD operations using this MySQL. So next step, what we will do, we will implement or we will integrate this Redis cache into our application in this existing application, and we will focus on the how we are going to enable the caching into the any existing Spring Boot applications. Okay, so that's why I've created already prerequisite things, and then later on we'll just only integrate those things. Okay, so now currently if we try to save the data. Okay, so for saving the data, just forgot to over there, like there is a one means entities, this is the order. So the table name is order underscore details, and this is the ID, this is auto increment, details, quantity, and the price. So these fields are available in this order underscore details table. So these tables also I got created over here. You can see the data. I've also pre-populated some records over 7, 8, 10, 11. These are the pre-populated record over here. This table already I got created over here. If you see this table, then you can see that ID is auto incremented. Okay, so now like from the postman, if I save the data, then you can see it will another record basically got generated. If I refresh this one, then 12 ID is over here. Now if we try to find all basically, then it will basically fetch the data from the database. Okay, so you can see like it's taking 800 millisecond. If I click it again, then 23 millisecond. So now it is taking this 23 millisecond. Again if I click, then 30 millisecond. Now if we see the console over here, every time it is basically fetching data from the database, means it's fetching the is every time it's a network call. Okay, so instead of that, we are going to implement the Redis cache, so that instead of calling the database, we just need to focus on the it will not just to reduce the database call. Okay, so how we are going to implement this one? So for that, first of all, we need to add two dependencies over here. So what are those dependencies? So those dependencies are, one is the starter data dependencies for Redis, and another is the Redis client. So these are the Spring Boot starter data Redis and the another Redis clients. Okay, these two dependencies we need to add in my project. Let me stop this one. Okay, so after adding this, the main annotation like enable caching, that we need to add in the here in the main entry point. Okay, so here basically we need to add this so that it will enable the caching for this application. Next, what we need to do, we need to add some properties so that it will be just defining that what type of cache it is. So as it is a Redis cache, so we need to define some properties over here. This is the property, string.cache type is Redis. Okay, so after adding this properties in a property field, that means configuration wise we are done now. So we can easily access the Redis into local. So what we need to do, locally we just need to install or maybe download the Redis and start the server, and so that we can get the details. Okay, now here basically, so what basically we are going to do over here, like whenever we are find all, so here basically we are going to provide the cacheable annotation. Okay, what annotation? Cacheable. And this annotation taking one parameter called is value. Value means order. Okay, we can cacheable, we can add this over here. Okay, next here find by order by ID. So here basically we can put the value with that also like key. Okay, like this. So here basically we can put the value, and because it's a find order by ID, so based on the ID it will do the cache. So this is basically whenever you are going to call this one find order by ID, then it will store the data into the cache with this ID. Okay, delete order by ID. So basically for deleting this one, so we need to refresh the cache for this particular ID. So for that there is another annotation called cache evict. So that annotation basically used, and here we need to pass this order and then ID. Okay, so this is done now. Next, what you can do, we can just start the application and we can Also, before the starting the application, what you can do, you can Redis I've install means I have downloaded locally. From over here we can start this Redis server. Okay, so you can see the Redis server started and the port is 6379 and the host will be localhost. There is another thing is there, Redis CLI. So CLI, this is command line tool. From here we can see the all the details like what are the keys available. So here basically currently we don't have any keys over here, so that's why it's not able to get any details. So there is another things like monitor. So using, if we start this one, so using this, what we can like get whatever the operations basically is done using this Redis, like set the data into the caching, then get the details from the caching. So all the command will be executed over here. I will show you how it is working. Okay, so now if we start this application, so it will start it will take some time, little bit time. Then we'll do this kind of operation like find all. So first time it will like pin the data over here, and the second time like first time it will fetch the data from the database, and second time it will fetch the data means in the from the like caching. Okay, so let me, it will start soon. Let me clear the console. Okay, now if we execute the find all, this one, so first time it will take some time as it is also like fetching the data from the database, 3.367 millisecond. And here you can see the data got set over here, right? Means first of all it will try to get the data. If it is not available, then it will set the data over here. You can see it's a list, and then like here all the details you will get like taste, price, all the details over here. Okay, so now if we see the like console over here, you can see the one select statement over here. So based on this select query, it will basically fetch all the data. Now second time if we click this one, so we will get the performance faster, 24 millisecond. Also here you can see we are not actually calling any SQL, MySQL database. We are not executing any query. So it's basically get the data from the caching. You can see get order. So using this, it will basically get the details from the caching. In similar fashion, we can also execute some other find by ID also. So let me like find by ID 10. So let me check that 10 is, yeah, 10 is available. So you can see that first time it will fetch the data from the, it will take 149 millisecond. So for that we can see one select statement got executed, but in next time if we execute it, then it will take 27 millisecond, and in this time it is not executing any select query. Means it is not, instead of talking to the MySQL database, it will directly fetching the data from the cache. Okay, and in this way basically we can improve our application performance. Okay, so and also you can see the time is also like reduced, correct? So this is the benefit. Next, suppose in case of the delete the order basically, so now what we can do, like using the cache evict, is basically refresh the cache. Now suppose the requirement is to, once we are deleting some order, then we are like refresh both cache, this one also and this one. These are both two different cache, right? This cache also we need to like already provide over here, but also with that we need to like refresh the cache for this one also. So for that we are not able to use two like two cache evict property together. Okay, it will give us a compilation exception. So for that basically what we can do, there is a one grouping kind of annotations over here. Let me show you over here. So this is the like annotation like this catch evict, and this is grouping by this one. So using this we can easily like do this one, right? Here we can, under this it is a grouping kind of annotation, and here we can defining multiple annotation over here like catch evict this one and catch evict this one. So for that, while clearing this one, then we need to provide this all entries will be true. So this is the syntax for this one, for refreshing all the cache over here. So that means once we are going to delete this one with some IDs, then it will refresh all the cache. So let me restart the application. Okay, so what will done over here, like suppose if we delete some records, let's say 11, then after deleting the records, if we are trying to call the find all, so first time again it will call the database data, and then again it will going to the check from the caching. So let me already started is JPA enable true, and then yeah, it's got started now, started Redis Cache application. Now just what we'll do, we will and the another point, like as we have restarted this Spring Boot application, but still the cache will be there. Why? The Redis applications, like already what it will do, Redis server is separate right here, so we are not restarting this Redis server, so that means the cache is already available in a Redis. Okay, now suppose if we do the delete operations with 11 ID, like this one 11, okay, 11 ID, so it will basically delete the records 11 ID from the database. So once we'll get the response from this one, we can see the order deleted successfully. Now if we refresh the database, we can see 11 record got deleted. Now find all, if we are execute the find all operations API, then we will get output 7, 8, 10 and 12. So let me execute the find all. Okay, find all. So now we can see 7, 8, 10 or 12, means only 4 record we are getting. And also we can see that one select statement got executed over here, because it is basically cache is refreshed. So the cache is, as cache is refreshed, so it's trying to get the data from the database. Now if I again try to call this one, then again it will basically not call the database. Instead of that, it will fetch the data from the Redis cache. Okay, one more point that I'm going to cover in this tutorial, like here basically we can put another things based on the condition, we can like put the data into the cache. Okay, so like let's say like ID, if ID is greater than 10, then only we are going to put data into the cache. So in this way basically we can put this condition, like if the ID is greater than equals to 10, then only put data into the cache, else we are not going to put data into the cache. Again let me restart this one as code is changes over here. So I'll show you the example for this one, like first of all we will try to get data with 7 or 8. So for that it will not restore the data into the cache, and for that also we just need to like restart the caching server, right? Because so I just need to restart the cache Redis server and then Redis CLI, because already cached over here, so that's why we need to restart the Redis server. Okay, server got started. Now what we are going to do, we are going to find order by ID. So let's say we are trying to 7 or 8, because 7 or 8 should be not in the cache, right? So find order by ID 7. Okay, so it will actually directly fetch data from the database. Now if we see the here there is one select query. Let me clear the console again. Let me try to hit this again. So again you can see, again actually it will, you can see it will fetch data from the database. If I hit this again it will basically hit the database, right? Because we have put the condition ID is greater than or equals to 10, then only put data into the cache. Now if we try to 10, find the ID with this 10, now first time it will basically execute one SQL. You can see the executed this SQL. Now let me clear this console. Now let me hit this again. Okay, now you can see the select statement not over here, because it is get the data from the database. Now you can see get order ID 10, but for before that 7 never come over here, right? So this is the another thing that we can also put the conditions over here. Okay, so this is all about this, how we are going to improve our applications performance using Redis Cache, integrate the Redis Cache into our Spring Boot applications. So this is the overall things. I hope you guys clear about that, like how we are going to integrate and all. It's very easy, right? So in a real application also we can integrate this Redis one. I hope it's clear to you all. If you guys have anything, please do let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel for more tips and tricks on optimizing your Spring Boot applications. See you in my next videos. Bye bye.